What is the oldest story we all share? It's not about kings or conquests, it's about hunger. We think we cook to survive, to nourish. But that's only half the truth. The real story of cooking is the story of us, becoming human. And it begins not with a recipe but with a discovery that terrified us. Imagine the first human to truly see fire, not as a destructive monster to run from, but as a tool. This was our first alchemist, the one who dragged a burning branch back to the cave. This was magic. Fire transformed the inedible into edible. Tough roots became soft. It unlocked calories our bodies could never access before. But it did something more profound. It changed our very biology. With less energy spent on digesting tough raw food, that energy went to our brains. Fire, quite literally, fueled our thoughts. And here the first restaurant was born, the circle around the fire. This was where we shared food, and in doing so, we shared stories. We built trust. We planned. Cooking didn't just feed our bodies, it built the first communities. For millennia, the menu was simple: cooked meat, gathered plants. Then we got bored, or desperate. And the greatest revolutions in food history were all happy accidents. Milk went sour and became cheese. Grapes crushed and forgotten became wine. Grain left in the rain began to ferment, and gave us beer. And a wild cabbage left to freeze in a northern European winter. That cabbage, through frost and time, was transformed by farmers. Its bitterness muted, its leaves curled. They called it Brassica oleracea, and from that single, resilient plant, we invented kale, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. This wasn't discovery, this was co-creation. We didn't just find our food, we designed it by walking with nature and listening to its mistakes. But taste is a ghost, it's memory, and we began to chase flavors that reminded us of places we'd never been. The hunger for spice didn't just create trade routes, it shaped the world map. Peppercorns were currency. Nutmeg was worth more than gold. Wars were fought over the ghost of a flavor. A sack of cloves could make you a king. This was the first globalization, and it was driven not by power or politics but by palate. The desire to make the familiar extraordinary, with a sprinkle of something from the edge of the world. But the greatest problem remained: time. Food rots, armies starved, empires stalled. Then a French confectioner named Nicolas Appert had a question. What if you could capture the summer sun in a jar? Appert's jars fed Napoleon. His idea led to the tin can, which fed the world's armies. And decades later, an entrepreneur named Birdseye, watching the Inuit in the Arctic, had a revelation. He brought flash freezing home. Suddenly, the peas on your plate in July could remember the snow of January. We had conquered seasonality. Today we live in a world of endless culinary choice. We have sous vide machines and microwave ovens. We can eat the cuisine of any culture on the planet. But look closer. The story that began with a piece of meat held to a flame is the same story we tell today. We don't just cook to eat, we cook to remember, we cook to share, we cook to create. That circle around the fire never broke, it just got bigger, until it encompassed the whole world. The history of cooking is the history of us. It's the story of how we used fire, frost, and time to transform the world. And in doing so, transformed ourselves. It's the story of the fifth element, the element of flavor and of connection.